Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Chaitanya Chaitamrita ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Bol. So reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, abridged version. Dear Swamiji, many thanks for your letter. I am indeed grateful to you for presenting a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam to me. I do realize that you are doing valuable work. It would be a good idea if the libraries and the government institutions purchase copies of this book. Using favorable reviews as advertisements, Bhaktivedanta Swami visited prospective donors as he tried to raise funds for further volumes. Finally, with his manuscript in hand and with money to print, he again entered the printing world, purchasing paper, correcting proofs, and keeping the printer on schedule so that each book would be finished on time. Thus, by his persistence, he who had almost no money of his own managed to publish his third large hardbound volume within a little more than 2 years. At this rate, with his respect in the scholarly world increasing, Bhaktivedanta Swami might soon become a recognized figure amongst his countrymen. But he had his vision set on the West, and with the third volume now printed, he felt he was at last prepared. He was 69 and he would have to start soon. It had been more than 40 years since Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had first asked a young householder in Calcutta to preach Krishna consciousness in the West. At first, the young Abhay Charan had thought it impossible. The obstacle of family responsibilities, however, was now gone, and he was free to travel west, although penniless. With most difficulties removed, travel fear and certain items of government permission remained as the last serious restrictions. Then, rather suddenly in 1965, the final impediments were removed one after another. In Vrindavan, Bhaktivedanta Swami met Mr. Agarwal, a Mathura businessman, and mentioned to him in passing, as he did to almost everyone he met, that he wanted to go to the West. Although Mr. Agarwal had known Bhaktivedanta Swami for only a few minutes, he volunteered to try to get him a sponsor in America by asking his son Gopal, an engineer in Pennsylvania, to send back a sponsorship form. When Mr. Agarwal volunteered to help in this way, Bhaktivedanta Swami urged him to please do so. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. Which chapter? Chapter 4. Text 1. Got it? Yeah. Yasmai Datum Chorayan Kshira Bandam. Yasmai Datum Chorayam Kshira Bandam. Gopinatha Kshira Chorabido Bhut. Gopinatha Kshira Chorabido Bhut. Shri Gopala Pradurasid Vasha San. Shri Gopala Pradurashid Vasha San. Yat Premna Tam Madhavendram Nato Smi. Yat Premna Tam Madhavendram Natosmi. Yasmai Datum Chorayam Kshira Bandam. Gopinatha Kshira Chorobido Bhut. Shri Gopala Pradurasid Vashasan. Yat Premna Tam Madhavendram Natosmi. Yasmai Datum Chorayam Kshira Bandam. Gopinatha Kshira Chorobido Bhut. Shri Gopala Pradurasid Vashasan. Yat Premna Tam Madhavendram Natosmi. Yasmai Datum Chorayam Kshira Bandam. Vaishnavis. Word for word. Yasmai, unto whom? Datum, to deliver. Chorayan, stealing. Kshirabandam, the pot of sweet rice. Gopinata, Gopinata. Kshirachora, stealer of a pot of sweet rice. Abida, celebrated. Abud, became. Shri Gopala, Shri Gopal Dete. Pradurasid, appeared. Vashaha, captivated. Son, being. Yat premna, by his love. Tam, unto him. Madhavendram, Madhavendra Puri, who was in the Madhava Sampradaya. Nata Azmi, I offer my respectful obeisances. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Madhavendra Puri, who was given a pot of sweet rice stolen by Sri Gopinath, celebrated thereafter as Kshira Chora. Being pleased by Madhavendra Puri's love, Sri Gopal, the deity of Govardhan, appeared to the public vision. Purport. Bhaktivinoda Thakur annotates that this Gopal deity was originally installed by Vajra, the great grandson of Krishna. Madhavendra Puri rediscovered Gopal and established him on top of Govardhan hill. This Gopal deity is now situated at Natadwara and is under the management of descendants of Vallabhacharya. The worship of the deity is very luxurious, and one who goes there can purchase varieties of prasadam by paying a small price. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate gem yatkipata mahamande shigurum dinataranam. The translation again. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Madhavendra Puri, who was given a pot of sweet rice stolen by Sri Gopinath, celebrated thereafter as Kshira Chora. Being pleased by Madhavendra Puri's love, Sri Gopal, the deity of Govardhan, appeared to the public vision. Is it appearance or disappearance? So today is a very, very auspicious disappearance anniversary of Madhavendra Puri. A very, very great devotee in our line of Gaudiya Sampradaya, Brahma Gaudiya, Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. So he actually appeared about a couple generations before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was a contemporary of Advaita Acharya. It's described that a few very prominent devotees in Lord Chaitanya Lila were disciples of Madhavendra Puri. It's described that Advaita Acharya was his disciple and that he was also a spiritual master of some devotees say that he was a spiritual master of Jagannath Mishra, uh, Lord Chaitanya's father, and also that he was a spiritual master. That's 100% we know that. He was a spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, was a spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So very, very special, extraordinary devotee. So I'd like to dedicate our lecture today to his glories and speak a little bit about his life, an example that he set is not so much known about his life, but there are some beautiful pastimes in the relationship with him. So once he was a very, very advanced devotee. He was always in ecstatic love of God, and he was traveling in different places of pilgrimage, remembering Krishna, chanting his names. And once he came to Vrindavan and he stayed at Govardhan, at the foot of Govardhan Hill, not so far from there, and he was chanting and then and fasting. He was chanting and fasting. So then this very, very beautiful young boy came with the long hair, extremely beautiful looking. And Mahavendra Puri was very, very attractive to this boy, very, very attractive and beautiful. And he said, I brought you some milk. Devendra Puri asked, how do you know that I'm fasting? He said, my village ladies in this village, they told me that you are fasting. And in my place, this is my village. In my village, nobody is allowed to fast here. So therefore, it is a very hospitable place. So therefore, here is the milk. The lady sent me some milk to give it to you. please enjoy it. And he gave it to Madhavendra Puri, and it disappeared. And Madhavendra Puri was struck in wonder, and he had so much attraction for this boy, but he was gone. There was this pot of milk left for him to enjoy. And he drank this milk, and it tasted like such a sweet, beautiful nectar. He never drank anything like it in his life. It was just nectarian. This completely sent him to ecstasy. So then he was so excited, and he was almost struggling to actually fall asleep after that. He was thinking about this boy. Who was this boy? And then somehow late at night, he managed to doze off a little bit for a short time. And then the same boy came into his dream, and that was Krishna. And he took Madhavendra Puri by hand and took him into the bushes. And he said, "Here, I'm the proprietor of this land. I've been here for a very long time." And he showed into those bushes there was a deity. He said, I'm staying here, and I've been here for a long time. I was installed by Vajra, the grandson of who is Krishna, grandson of Krishna, great grandson, great grandson of Krishna, because Vajra, he received a special mission, I believe, from Maharaj Parikshit, to because devotees in Vrindavan area, they felt so much separation from Krishna after Krishna has departed. So he received this instruction from Maharaj Parikshit to install various deities and kind of um, create a various pastime places of Krishna in Vrindavan. So Vajra installed quite a few deities in Vrindavan area, so that Brijbasis could remember Krishna and worship him. So this Gopal deity was installed by Vajra. But then this boy in a dream said that there was some invasion, there's some attack on a temple at some point, and the pujari had to run away. And therefore he took the deity and kind of put it into the bushes and run away for his life. And that deity stayed there in those bushes for a long time. So this boy said, I want you to excavate me and build a temple for me. So Madhavendra Puri just woke up, and he just fell down, almost fainted in ecstasy that he couldn't recognize his Lord when he came to see him and gave him some milk. And for some time he was kind of lamenting, remembering the Lord. But then he remembered that he has a mission, that the Lord has given him mission that he has to fulfill. So this is a devotee may have feelings of separation from Krishna. He may have various other things going on in life, some emotional challenges, but because he's got the mission of the Lord, then he's continuing in the spiritual life no matter what happens. There's some ups and downs, there is some struggles, there is challenges, but devotee carries on. So Madhavendra Puri took up this mission given now by the Lord as his life and soul. But what he did with that little pot that he's been given by Krishna, he broke it into small little pieces, almost like into dust. And he was carrying in a little bag with him, and he would take a little bit of that dust every day. Because pot given by Krishna himself, and that's extraordinary. So then Madhavendra Puri, he went to this local village, and he called Brijbasis, and he said, "Please help me. I know that there's a deity in the bushes here." And because he was a saintly person, then villagers believed him. So they took uh, choppers and spades, and they all went to those very dense bushes, and he was cutting through them in exactly the place that Gopal showed in the dream. So he had this complete faith, it wasn't like wondering, is it really true, this dream? It didn't think that I'm risking just inviting villagers to come and we're gonna cut through the bushes and there will be nothing there. And so villagers trusted him that he's a saintly person, he knows what he's doing. And Madhavendra Puri fully trusted this beautiful dream that he received, that he experienced with a Lord appearing in his dream. Of course, for us, if we have this dream with some mission that is given, then we should check it with our spiritual master, just to be on the safe side. Um, so that's the humility of devotee. But these great souls, they had this full understanding. When the Lord appears to them, they knew whether that's 100% genuine instruction. Srila Prabhupada as well, we're going through Lilamrita now, how Rupa Goswami and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has appeared to him, given instruction to go to the west to give Krishna consciousness. So they cut through those bushes and they found the Gopal deity. It was kind of covered with grass and with dry leaves and etc. So it took for them a bit of a while to clean it very nicely, clean him very nicely, and they put then Shishikodantai Maipur ki Jai. And Gopal, I believe, in a dream as well, asked to be installed on Govardhan Hill. So they first put the deity there on a hill before they built the temple, and then they started worshiping him very, very beautifully. Madhavendra Puri established this amazing worship of Gopal, and then villagers, Brijbasis, they took upon themselves to organize this beautiful, wonderful feast. They cooked whatever they had, they brought, and they cooked this massive feast. And then it was distributed, offered to Gopal very nicely, and then distributed to everyone. And then another village volunteered, and they came with everything they had. They cooked a massive feast for Gopal, and it was distributed. And it was going on for a good while. Village after village, we are volunteering to organize a feast for Gopal. And then eventually somebody stepped forward with some Lakshmi to build the temple. And Madhavendra Puri, he then trained some devotees to look after the deity very nicely. And then he was very, very happy, ecstatic, doing all this wonderful service, and it was so blissful. This beautiful temple were built on Govardhan Hill. And then he had another dream, and Gopal again appeared in his dream. And he said that I've been so long in those bushes, who knows how long, and I still feeling this dryness in my skin is burning because of that leaves and the dried grass and the sun and the weather elements. I'm feeling very, very hot in my body. Could you kindly please get for me some sandalwood paste and bring it back and cool it to cool down my body, because I'm very, very hot. So then Madhavendra Puri, he woke up and then he was ready to drop everything to execute the Lord's mission again. Although, he worked so hard to establish the temple. When you build something, it's very tendency of material world. I built something, I established, I trained the people. You become very attached to that situation, or you could become attached. There's a risk, a very high risk to become attached to the situation, to the position, etc. We build the temple, we train the people, and etc. But he was received this another service, and he was ready to drop everything, not in an irresponsible way, of course, because he set everything up so the temple was going on very nicely. And that's like a fantastic management of empowered devotee. He just could go now and everything would go on, the worship would go on by the pujaris, the deities are getting prasadam every day. and everything is going on. So he just took upon himself actually to go to get the sandalwood paste. And there is an area in India where there is a lot of it found of the sandalwood. Is some in the south of India. Do you know the place how it is called? Malayan Mountains or something? Malayan Mountains. I don't know whether it is still the case, but anyway, that was the case at that time. So Madhavendra Puri just went there, immediately. I believe without any assistance, there's himself to execute this new mission that he's been given. And he was going and traveling by foot, of course, and it was quite a big distance from Vrindavan to Malayan mountains. Do you know how far it is? Really, really far. So that's South India and North India. Vrindavan is in North India, and he traveled by foot to South India. So you quite can imagine how far it was, but it wasn't, of course, discouraging for him. He was determined to execute the mission of the Lord. So then he came to this place called Remuna, and this is where this pastime was recited actually by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Um, a couple generations later, they went into Remuna, they danced in ecstasy, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his devotees, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself told the story that we are hearing today. And it is described that he was speaking with so much enthusiasm and appreciation about Madhavendra Puri, as if he had many, many mouths. He was just like so excited and appreciative of this ecstatic devotion of Madhavendra Puri. So, and then he went to this Remuna, and it was very special place. It was famous actually for very nice kheer. How do you pronounce this kheer? Do you pronounce just kheer? You don't pronounce kheer. So that's in Bengali. Kheer, we call it. I guess it's Hindi and Sanskrit kheer, and in Bengali it's called kshira. It's a sweet rice. So it was very famous place because they made this very very amazing sweet rice. People used to go there. It's a Gopinath deity. They had a Gopinath deity there, and they had this special kheer made in small earthen pots. I don't know whether it's the similar thing as in Radharaman temple or it was bigger, but anyway, that was like an earthen pot, and they used to make this beautiful sweet rice offer to Gopinath and then distribute it to pilgrims. So, Madhavendra Puri went in there, and he had a kirtan, I believe, to Gopinath, and then there was this offering going on of this, the curtains closed or something, and the offering was going on of the sweet rice of Kshira. And Madhavendra Puri, in his mind, because he always was thinking about Gopal after installation, how I can please Gopal, how I can serve Gopal, even was very far away on a trip. Gopal was in his mind. And at that time, he was thinking, I would like to taste this sweet rice so I know how it is made somehow, so that I can offer this kheer to Gopal when I come back. That was thinking like that. And that was exactly at the same time when the offering was going on to the deity. And then he felt so disgusted about himself because you're actually not supposed to think about to taste the food when you're making prasadam. You're making for Krishna. You're not thinking, I'm just gonna enjoy this and let me make as nice as possible so my tongue gets gratified. And we're thinking, how we can offer it to Krishna, how Krishna will enjoy this. Uh, and uh, and when the offering is going on, you're not thinking, okay, I'm just waiting as to enjoy whatever been offered to Krishna. So Madhavendra Puri, he didn't have this desire to enjoy. His only motivation was he was thinking, I would like to taste so that I know, maybe I will be able to work out the recipe. What is it in that kheer that I can offer to my Gopal? Yeah, the pure motivation. However, being a pure devotee, was very, very humble, and he felt this is not proper. I should not be thinking about this sweet rice while it's being offered. So he was disgusted and he left immediately, and he went to the to that local village, and he stayed in marketplace, and he was chanting and feeling very bad, kind of almost condemning himself for committing an offense to the Lord. Kind of would be called in a language of devotees. I was lusting over prasadam while he's still being offered. um, so it's feeling like that. And so that night he stayed in that marketplace, and that night the pujari of Gopinath had a dream, and Gopinath appeared in a dream, and he said, "There is a great devotee, my great devotee, Madhavendra Puri, is in the town," and he visited actually the temple just yesterday. And during the offering of sweet rice, I actually took one of the pots and put it under my cloth. Like the deities has got this like a cloth hanging, so you could technically speaking, put something behind the cloth that is not visible to the pujari when because there was like a bunch of earthen pots been offered and one was missing, and somehow another it been never noticed that one was missing. Maybe it was so many of them, or maybe the pujari was very detached, and he wasn't like counting, oh, how many pots are there and one is missing, where is it, who has stolen it. So it says under the cloth, somewhere behind, I've stolen this sweet rice for Madhavendra Puri, and I want you to give the sweet rice to him. So as soon as the pujari woke up, it's like, wow, what's going on here? He just quickly took bath, dressed, and run into the data room to see whether that's the case. And yes, here you go. He just found a pot of sweet rice behind the cloth of Gopinath. And he took that sweet rice, and he was just like running around, Madhavendra Puri, where is Madhavendra Puri? And he went to the marketplace as well in that village. Madhavendra Puri, Madhavendra Puri, Gopinath has stolen sweet rice for you. Where are you? Where is this most fortunate person in the world? It's like a people gathered there, and they said, here he is. He's in the marketplace. So they found Madhavendra Puri, and everybody offered obeisances to him and gave him this sweet rice. And Madhavendra